Cool. Okay, that seemed to do it. So maybe it was just the freaking Wi-Fi for the other thing. Anyways, I'm here, guys. So, all right, guys. So it is time for our live. So you can ask me whatever you want to ask me about. So put your questions in the comment section below, and I'm going to try to go through as many as I can. I'm going to talk really fast just because I want to catch up on some time because we're behind here. So if you're asking me a question about your life or about yourself, be specific. What do you want to know about? Nothing vague or general, because I'm just going to skip your question. I don't have time for that. If you want to ask me about a loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect to, so that way I can intend to connect to that person and see if I can bring through any information or messages from them to let you know that they're with you. I don't see them. I don't hear them. They have to communicate using the pieces in my head. So they basically start scrambling my brain as soon as they connect with me, and then they start triggering thoughts, emotions, and memories. And I've got to get those pieces and try to make sense of it. So that's usually how it works for me. If you want to be, there he goes. If you want to come on camera, you have to get onto Instagram, because that's where I do all the camera work. So if you want to be on video with me, get your butt over to Instagram and then request to be a guest right here. This little button here, you can request to come on live with me. If you don't, then just post your questions. I check everything. So I have Facebook and YouTube going on one side, and then I've got Instagram right here. And so I try to check back and forth, and that way I can kind of cover my bases there. So I do read messages from both sides. I can't read everything just because there's so many that start coming in. So it's hard to keep up with all of every single person's request. What else? Check out my website, fernandomaron.com. Everything that I do is through my website. And so if you want to know more about my work, availability, pricing, etc., go to my website. Don't private message me. Don't email. Just go to the site, because everything has to go to the site anyway. So there's no way around it. I don't private message and offer readings or ask for money. Those would be scammers. So if you ever get approached from someone like that, that is not me, because I don't do that. So just FYI with that as well. My podcast just came out, a new episode talking about prophetic dreams and making sense of prophetic dreams. And I go into a lot of detail, and I actually use the latest dream that I had with the hurricanes and everything. So I go into that in detail, so that way y'all can understand the whole process of prophetic dreams and how that works and how you have to make sense of stuff. So I go into the latest podcast. So check that out. That just came out yesterday. You can also go to my website, because I have my podcast. I've got my articles on medium.com. I've got my YouTube channel. Everything's on there as well. So just FYI with that. Fridays, I always promote that people donate money, because there are a lot of opportunities to show compassion and give charity. So on Fridays, when people usually get payday, that's an opportunity to share, even if it's $10, $20, $30, $50, whatever you want to share. But there's opportunities to donate money to charitable causes, and there's a lot of causes out there or organizations out there. My only thing is that it'd be pertaining to like a basic human need. So whether it be health related, something to help people with their health, something to help people with food, with shelter, or if it's like an advocacy type thing where it's promoting people who are disadvantaged or do not have equal rights. Pretty much what it's about. So Fridays are the time to share. All right, guys, so I'm gonna get started here. If y'all could do me a favor, y'all can share this video feed with anybody that you want to share with, or that anybody you can, just because it helps me with my mission and the spiritual work that I'm doing here. So the more people that I can reach, the more I can give people clarity and give them, teach them all that I've learned throughout my life. So, okay, let me get started here. I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just kind of bouncing around here. Charisse, good evening, Fernando. When do you see engagement for me, and how soon after will be ceremony? Thanks. So I feel like there's actually going to be 2, maybe 3 separate attempts or engagements. I know that sounds like a lot. And the reason why I want to describe it as like that is because I feel like distracted. So let me get back to my train of thought, because I was seeing something over here. I was like, I don't want y'all to see that. One second. I'm gonna go into do not disturb. Oh, I am in do not disturb. Sure. Okay, what is to make sure? I was like, I'm still getting disturbed. Okay, back to your question. Sorry. Okay, 3. So the reason why I think there's going to be 3 is because I feel like the first attempt might just be conversation or talk, and you may think it's an engagement, but it's not really an official engagement. And the second one feels like it has more to do with like actually getting engaged or having a ring be a part of that process. And the third one feels like it's like, well, we called it off, or I said, no, I'm going to take a break or whatever, and then you actually continue on or give it another go. So that's how I would describe it. As far as like when, I feel like this is probably going to happen before summer of 2023. So not right away, maybe next year or later next year, or before summer of 2023. That's the time frame. As far as the ceremony is concerned, I don't feel the ceremony would happen right away. I actually think it might take up to a year after, maybe a year and a half after that, for there to be an actual ceremony. Okay? Going around here. Sarah, hi Ferny, much love and light. Any direct messages from my guides? Thank you so much. As far as your guides are concerned, yeah, there is an individual, I want to say this is going to be a lady who pops into your life who may offer to either kind of teach you or show you the ropes when it comes to like your career or project opportunities. And at first you may not be, thank you. The way I would describe this, they're showing me an example to kind of help you understand this. So when I first met my BFF, she was a super like giving and just really wanted just to be sweet and kind to me, and was showing me a lot of compassion. But it was just being a sweet person and was offering me, and I was like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from me? And it's hard, right? Because you always don't want to trust people like that, especially when you've always dealt with people who just take and don't really give back. So whenever people give to you, you always assume that they want something in return. That wasn't my BFF. She didn't want anything back. She just was being herself. And it took me some time to get comfortable with that, because that's not what my conditioning was. So I had to kind of work past my conditioning, and it's because of her that I credit that with, because she showed me how to be more loving and be accepting of more loving and more generosity in this world than I was accustomed to. And so she showed me that lesson, or gave me that lesson. So this female that pops into your life, she's going to want to show you the ropes, or kind of like help guide you. And I would say it's not a bad opportunity, because at first you may not trust it, but I actually think that she means what she says. Even if she doesn't stick around in your life forever, it feels like she would jump in and she would show you or teach you what she's going to teach you, and then she's going to jump out. But you would gain so much from that experience. So just FYI. And this individual, this female, if she's not already in the picture, I would say by February she shows up. Okay? Ross one. Hey Ferny, a couple of days ago in the morning, while in bed, I heard faint singing. Was this mediumship, and was I connected with my ancestors? I don't think this was mediumship. You are connected to your ancestors, but I don't think that was actually that. I actually think you might have been hearing someone singing or music coming from like the surroundings. So someone might have been playing something, or there might have been something on that was connected to. So I'm not thinking that specific situation was actually like you hearing spirit. I think that was more to do with someone playing something actually, and you may have just been picking up on that. Okay. I'm curious if, I know you said you were sleeping. I wonder if you had anything. You were just in bed. I wonder if you had taken anything that day, like if you had vaped or anything, just because sometimes that messes with your peripheral sensitivity, and it might have been a situation where, for example, like whenever I've vaped, my senses become very different. And they're like, sometimes when I'm going on for my walk with my partner, we'll be having a conversation, he's right next to me, and I'll be hearing something that's coming from like blocks away that I would have never normally heard if I hadn't vaped. So I feel like it has a feeling like that. That's how I'm picking this up for you. Okay, so I'm not thinking that was the case or the situation. Jessica, hi Ferny, any messages from my husband Carlos? Yes, he is showing me, thank you. He's showing me a star on a shirt or a cap, and I'm also seeing the color red. So I don't know if there's something you have of his that is like, that's got a red star, or it's either red or orange but it has this color to it and there's a star connected to it because he's making reference to something like that. He also keeps showing me his badges or his ID. So I don't know if you have his ID or his badges that you also keep with you or you keep in your own thing, but he's making reference to that as well. He also keeps showing me a ring. He's taking it off and he's putting it back on. I don't know if you have this ring and you were thinking about taking it and you've been wearing it, or if you did this with your ring where you took your ring off and then you put it back on. But he's making reference to this because that's usually how I want to associate that. Whenever this symbol to me is very significant because it means 2 or 3 things and it just depends on the situation. It could mean, again, what I just said right now. It could also mean considering dating somebody or having another relationship, but then not moving forward with it or not doing it after all. It could also mean just losing a ring. Sometimes that's been the symbol that I get when someone's lost a ring, but it's connected to that because that's how I'm seeing it. He also keeps showing there's a baby with him in spirit. Actually, there's 2. There's 2 babies with him in spirit. So there might have been 2 babies that were miscarried, lost, or terminated. But there's a reference to that as well. He also keeps acknowledging. Thank you. I don't know if there's a special drink or a special beverage. It's funny because I keep thinking of the tortuga or a turtle, but then I also keep thinking of like a drink. So I don't know if there's a joke about a drink with a turtle or if there's something about eating something with turtle with a drink. There's something there that he's making reference to as well. He's also pointing to a necklace that may have a religious symbol like a cross or like a Virgin Mary or something like that. It could also be a rosary, but he showed me something like that as well. Okay. Jessica, I have been struggling to get pregnant. Can you tell me when I will conceive? I feel like it's going to be a while, so I don't feel like it's going to happen right away. This may not happen until May or June of next year, okay? So I'm thinking May or June of next year is when this may actually happen. Keep trying, because I could be wrong and you might be able to get pregnant earlier, but I'm thinking it's going to be May or June of next year. Candace, is Tom going to be in my future? Yes and no. So my feeling is that this feels like an in and out or back and forth type of interaction with this person, where there might be more than one instance in your life where this person either connects to you or is in your life and then they're not in your life. So just FYI, there might be this back and forth. But as far as like long term or a consistency of this person being in your life, I'm not thinking so. Just because I feel like their life might get a little crazy, or they may be having a lot of random circumstances that are going to just constantly be an issue for them. So it's going to be hard to kind of make time, is how I want to put it, or make this a priority, the connection with your priority. So what I would say about Tom is that I do think that they will be in your life. I just think it's not going to be a consistency to them being in your life. There's just this in and out or back and forth vibe that I'm seeing with them. Okay. Jen May, hi Ferny, is my mother with me or my dad? Yeah, your mom, first of all, with your mom, she's showing me flowers, so she's actually like handing you flowers. So the way that I would interpret that is either you received flowers that you attribute to her, or, and the way that this was kind of starting to shift for me is, let's say hypothetically you gave your mom a specific flower, or you put a flower next to her remains, and the next day someone gives you the exact same flower. It's almost like I'm letting you know that I got your flowers. That's what she's making reference to. So there's something like that, and they may even be like sunflowers or yellow flowers, because I'm also seeing sunflowers yellow, but she's acknowledging that. She also keeps showing me the number 21, so the 21st of a month may be significant, or February the 1st may be significant. She also keeps acknowledging, she's also showing me a necklace, so there might be a necklace that's connected to mom, or you might have a necklace that belonged to her. She's also showing me, and it's funny because she's showing me an image, and in this picture, it's funny because I feel like she looks like a leprechaun in this picture. I don't know if she actually is dressed up like for St. Patrick's Day, or dressed up as like a leprechaun, or is dressed up as like this Lucky Charms character, but she's showing me an image or a vision of this, so I'm assuming that it's connected to that in some way. She also keeps, thank you, she also keeps acknowledging, she's brushing hair. Whenever I see the brushing of hair, it usually means either that something happened to their hair and they're showing you they have their hair again, or that there was a connection to being a hairdresser, or there's a special bond between the hair with you two. And it's not just like, oh, I like to touch your hair. There's more to it than that. So it's not just like a casual, I mess with your hair. It's more like there's a specific hairdresser, or I lost my hair, I got my hair back, or something like that. So she's acknowledging and making reference to that. Dad just said happy birthday, or he referenced the birthday, so we might be within 30 days of a birthday that he wants to acknowledge. Okay. Hey Vanessa, thank you. Amanda, hi Ferny, any messages from my dad? Yeah, the first thing he's acknowledging is he's almost apologizing for his passing, or apologizing for what happened, either because he could have, the way he makes me feel is that he could have either done something earlier to avoid this, or it feels like this could have technically been avoided, even though there was a whole thing to it, but he makes me feel that way. So it's almost like an apology for that. He also keeps acknowledging the significant, it's funny because I'm thinking of May 12th, but the month of May is significant, or possibly May 12th. It's either that or it's May and December, but that's the way he's showing it to me. It's funny because he's showing me a picture of himself and he's got something in his mouth, like, so he's doing that. So it's either like a straw, a pencil, a straw, or a what is it? The thing, when you're trying to get something out of your teeth. I forgot what it's called. But he's showing me a picture of himself and he's got this thing in his mouth. So there might be an image or a picture of him doing something like that, or with that. He also keeps acknowledging the 3 kids. So I don't know if there's 3 of you and he's trying to acknowledge all of you, or if you actually have 3 kids and he's acknowledging your children and letting you know about that he's with your children, he's been connecting with your children. If the kids, or if children in the family start having experiences where toys start doing funny things, or people are finding things in the kids' room in weird ways, there's something connected to Dad that I want to associate with this. So there might be a reference to that, okay? Oh, also birds. Birds are going to be a symbol from him. It's funny because a bird toy may actually be a symbol, or some sort of toyish bird may be a reference. Because he was putting them together, so I was thinking he was trying to merge them for me. Nick Smith. Hey Ferny, when will we move into a house? At what point in the purchasing process will there be obstacles? I actually think moving to a house. I want to say that y'all will be moving in to a property. It's funny because I want to say December or January, which is not that long from now. So I want to say either at the end of this year. Let's put it at the end of this year. So I see you moving into a property at the end of this year. I feel like 2 weeks into a house purchase, there would be some issues. There's actually 2 sets of issues. One would be 2 weeks after, and that may have more to do with either the report, what is it, when you're getting the inspection report. So there may be something to do with that. And thank you. What I'm seeing is what happened to me. The property that I was interested in was valued higher than what the bank was willing to cover. And so I had to convince the bank to take the risk on me. And they took the risk on me. So then when I went 10 years later to sell my house, I listed my house at a higher price than what I had bought it for. Actually, it had gone up quite a bit at that time, because it had gone up quite a bit more. And the realtor, my realtor friend, and also people at the realtor's office were trying to talk me out of that price because they said it's not practical. So I was like, no, like this is what it can sell for. I'm going to sell it for this. Or I'll just like try it with you guys, and if y'all don't do it, then I'll just go with another realtor. It's that simple. But I was solid on it. Now, granted, sometimes you just need to be practical. Sometimes you don't. In this instance, I didn't feel like I needed to be practical. I was being very reasonable. But the person that there were several people who showed interest in my house, but they were like their offers were insults, and I was like, no, I said no a lot, and then. One guy was interested in the property, and he was willing to he offered what I was asking for, and he had to do the same thing I had to do for my house, which was he had to because after the report came back, there was it was just a little bit lower than what I was asking for, and the bank was like no, and then I got the inspector to change that amount because there were other things they weren't including in that, or that they were not taking into account, and then the guy who was offering the money, or offering who put a bid in, he had to convince the bank of doing the same thing. So I'm seeing that in my head. So there might be a similar situation with y'all that starts to happen there. Okay, so be aware of that. I know it's a long story to get around to it, but that's kind of what I was thinking about. By the way, guys, with the I was going to make this clear for everybody who's in Houston or still in around the Houston area. Even though I put out my prophetic dreams and I tried to tell everybody what I thought it meant, etc., I did have a dream about a flood in Houston. Now, this hurricane came and there wasn't as much extensive flooding, or in some places no flooding at all, even though there's a lot of tree damage and a lot of electrical damage, which wasn't in my dream, but I still saw a lot of flooding. What I'm going to say, y'all, is either I was just sensing the storm and it coming directly to Houston, and that's what I was picking up on, and the threat of flood that everybody was having fears around, or there's still going to be a flooding event that may happen in Houston or around Houston. So what I would say is don't let your guard down, just in case there are more elements to that than has played out yet. So just be prepared for that, but just be aware of that, okay? Because I just want to put that out there, just because I was like, that was more electrical stuff. Why did y'all give me a dream about a flood? And I didn't understand that, and so I still don't understand that, but I'm still gonna like not let my guard down with my family, and I'm still telling y'all just need to be aware, just because something may change or there may be a new threat shortly or soon. It wouldn't be happening like, and the reason why is because I also mentioned that liftoff of the dragon thing. There's another one today, actually, a liftoff with the dragon thing, and so I'm like, okay. And there are some forecast models that have this storm system or the some of the remnants of that coming back around or doing a weird loop. And just in case that's a possibility, and I'm like, if I were just saying, oh, well, something may happen, that's one thing. But if you have forecast models still, having these weird things going on with this system, I just don't want y'all to be caught off guard and say, well, Ferny said it was going to flood. It didn't flood. I mean, we got the storm, but it didn't flood. And then, a week later, there's a fucking flood. And I just don't want y'all to be caught off guard. So just FYI, in case y'all are like, let your guards down, don't let your guard down. Just because you want to be made sure that there isn't going to be a flooding event. Dorothea, do you see me getting a car soon? Yeah, I see you getting a car in about a month and a half. So about a month and a half or 6 weeks from now. Okay, let me go over here because I haven't come over here yet. Angelica, hello Ferny, will I ever get over my PTSD? I feel so scatterbrained. Will I meet my person soon? What does my son Harrison think? That's a whole lot of stuff. So let me just focus on one or two. PTSD. I feel like as far as your PTSD is concerned, the scatterbrain that you're feeling, I don't feel like that's connected to the PTSD. I feel like the PTSD and then the brain feeling scattered or just feeling a little bit like all over the place. I think both of those are two separate situations. I do think that the PTSD is something you're going to continue to work on over the next 2 or 3 years, and then it may start to kind of settle a bit. But I also think that you're going to have to deal with 2 or 3 separate forms of therapy to kind of really get through it. So just FYI with that. The scatterbrainedness, I don't think that has to do with your PTSD. I think that that's more to do with your brain function. You might either be suffering from a form of ADD, or you might have a physiological condition that's affecting your brain that you may need to follow up with a doctor. So I would actually check with a doctor. It pertains in regards to that. I'm a texting too, Ferny. Will I see or hear from Clay? I don't think you'll see Clay, but I could see you hearing from Clay or well, I don't know if it's hearing from Clay directly or hearing about Clay, but I don't feel like you'll be seeing Clay. So I'm going to say no to seeing, possibly to hearing, but it may not be a direct hearing from. It's maybe hearing about, okay? Sexy, succulent lover. Hi, Ferny. Will I get married soon? I want to say this is around October of 2022 or October of 2023. So October 22 or October 23 is what I'm thinking there might be a potential for marriage for you. Okay? Haley Jelly. Hi Ferny, any change in job? Do you see me getting into a relationship? Job change. I do see a change for you in job December. It may not actually be like a job change. It might just be a new boss or you going going into a different area or location of the company or organization. As far as a relationship, I don't see a relationship for you right now. You need to learn to be more open and receptive. I think that you are kind of putting some walls up that you may not realize you're doing. I think you're suffering from, I feel like you're suffering from trauma and from pain in your past that is just kind of taken hold and kind of made you either fearful or just not as open and receptive as you need to be. And so you might need to work on that because it might be blocking some things or just keeping you from allowing people into your life. Also, don't be so afraid. I feel like you're just there's too much fear there. It's almost like you don't want to repeat someone else's pattern, or you don't want. The way I would describe this is, so I was raised. My mom, I saw my mom go through some stuff, and she married my stepfather. My stepfather was from El Salvador, and he broke her spirit. And after that, she suffered from a lot of psychological issues, and then became schizophrenic or developed her schizophrenia. And so I always tell people, like, I don't ever want to turn into my mother. And so a few years after that, I met a guy from El Salvador, and we fell in love, and we started having a relationship, and he put me through some stuff, and it almost broke me, and I literally saw my mother in me when that relationship was happening. Now I was like, oh, I'm grateful for the experience because a lot came from that, but that's coming up for me when I'm thinking about you, because I feel like there's some issues there where either you're not wanting to turn into your mother or you're not wanting to repeat a cycle. And so just be careful about that. But to answer your question, when would you get into, I know this is like a whole like long answer, but I feel as far as you getting into a relationship, this may be a while. A relationship that might make it, or a relationship that might go the test of time, I think isn't right away. This might not be for about, I want to say 5 to 7 years. 5 because it may take that long for this person to come into the picture. 7 because it may take that long for you to let this person in, or for y'all to actually be involved in like a relationship. You can speed that up. The future's never set in stone. Oh, by the way, guys, my statements are personal opinions, not proven, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions you take, you are 100% responsible and liable for. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I'm not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or a law enforcement official. For legal medical advice or treatment, you should always consult with a licensed professional. I had to make sure that people understand that, because some people think I'm a doctor, and I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I can only tell you what I feel. But to get back to your question, it's going to take I'm seeing it taking that long. You can change your future though. So you can work on this stuff inside of you and then speed up that timeline. But as of right now, I'm seeing a 5 to 7 year time frame. Okay. She's going to hate me for that. She's going to be like, oh no, I'm like erasing Ferny. I'm unfollowing Ferny right now. I am not about to have this fool tell me it's going to take 5 to 7 years. It's not like I'm trying to have you wait 5 or 7 years. I'm just trying to tell you what you can do to speed that up, girl. I'm just trying to get you to speed up. Princess Sierra 22. Hello, Ferny. Good afternoon. Do you see my mom or dad? Any angel messages from them? Well, they're not angels. They're people. They're spirits. People have a tendency of they say angels are people and people are angels. No, 2 separate things. Angelic beings are not human. Angelic beings are entities or beings based in love and that lighter spectrum of God. They represent a different angle of God. People think of angels as like people like us who have personalities, and no. People like are obsessed with that. No, angels are just angels. There's a separate entity, and the angels that people talk about today are not the same things as some of the angels that are described in like holy books and in the Bibles. And those are some of those instances were actually like physical beings that existed at that time, or that may have been around during that period. So you got to kind of separate yourself at that, because people always think that everything's the same, and it's not. Some things are different depending on what you understand and what the situation is. But angels are separate. People or spirits are where your parents would be. And so to go back to you, hello Ferny, good afternoon, mom or dad? Okay, got it. With your mom. The thing about your mom, first of all, she's showing me a picture of herself, and this picture might have been like in the 70s, and her hair might have been a little bit like cropped right here, and she's like turning to the side. So there might be a picture of her that you have of her where she's kind of like looking, and then there's like the hair kind of crops up to here. So there's like an image or a picture like that, because she's showing me this picture. She also keeps acknowledging if you smell the scent of flowers or roses or a floral scent, that's her coming around you as well. She also says that she was in the vehicle with you. Thank you. I don't know if there was a close call. I can interpret this in different ways, because she's taking me into the inside of a vehicle, and then I'm seeing a incident. So I don't know if there was an incident connected to mom that's what's connected to her passing, or if she's actually talking about you and an incident that happened recently or that happened after her passing where it was a close enough call that you feel like somebody like intervened. She's taking credit for this, or she's acknowledging whatever this is. So she's making reference to that. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. She's blessing you, so she's sending you bless. It's funny because she's doing the bendiciones, so she's like blessing you or trying to like bless you, so she's doing that as well. She's blessing me too. That's funny. Some people, whenever spirits come through, they try to come through with the personality that they had in life, not with their heavenly personality, because that's a very different experience for them. And so she's trying to give me the personality that she had in life. And it's funny because she's doing this as if she's trying to bless me as well. But she's doing it in a way where either this stuff might have scared her, or she's like pointing out whatever I'm doing, and then she's like doing this as much as she's like blessing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it as a blessing and not as like, oh, you know, you're like talking to the dead. Like, no, girl, like it's okay. But she's doing that, so there's a reference there. She's also acknowledging, she's showing happy birthday or date within 30 days. So there's a date of significance within 30 days, either birthday, anniversary, or death date. Okay. Let's bring somebody on because it's getting later. Let's see. Okay, so turn on my audio too so y'all can hear me. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so ending that one. Let's try somebody else.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hi, Rama. What did you want to ask me about?
Okay, so I have like 2 questions. So I'm not gonna take up your time too much because I don't want everybody to hate me on here. One, I just want to hear from my mom if she has anything to tell me. Another thing is I'm very confused right now as far as my relationship, so I just kind of wanted to see where that's at.
Yeah, are y'all going back and forth right now?
I think I am emotionally.
Okay, because I'm seeing a back and forth, and I'm also seeing 2 breaks. Have y'all taken any breaks in this relationship yet?
Yeah, previously, yes.
Okay, so y'all have already taken the break, so that for me is back and forth. So what I'm going to say is, as far as the relationship is concerned, I feel like the bones are there for this to go to where you want it to go. The problem isn't what you're doing. I think the problem is that you both have 2 different ideas for how relationships should function, and I almost feel like you might have to make more concessions or have to make more quote-unquote sacrifices to make it work than you should. So what I would say is with this relationship, you probably need to get the other individual on the same page. That way y'all can both approach this on the same level and y'all have a realistic idea. Do you want me to tell you what I see happening?
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, I'm not feeling confident about the future of the relationship. I'm not seeing anything change right this minute, but in about 7 months, there may be some issues that come up, which might make you want to just drop it. So you need to be aware of that, because that may make the 7-month period may be a make or break period. And then if you decide to break, I can't see y'all getting back together after that. So just FYI with that.
Okay.
Okay. And now you said you wanted me to connect with your mom?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So your mom is showing me something interesting. So she's showing me something which I've seen before. I'm seeing a picture of my uncle's maid, which is like very disconnected. And in this picture, the maid she's really pretty, but she had a white hat, or it was like a sailor's hat or a sailor cap on. Do you know if there's a picture of your mom with a white hat or cap on?
She always used to wear, we used to make fun of her because she used to wear visors and she would always put her bangs on the
Yeah,
outside.
perfect sense because it's like a sailor's cap. You know the little like the captain's like thing. So that was what I was trying to figure out what she. So she was showing me that. I was like, what is this? So she's acknowledging this picture of her, this image of her. Your mom. I don't feel like ever grew up. I feel like in her head she still thought she was young or she could do anything. So she's like very much like wanting to have a good time or wanting to like get down. So she's coming across in this way. She also says that they don't check your age at the door in heaven. So she's like, she got in and she's like partying down. So she's making reference to this. She also makes me feel, thank you, broken heart. Do you know if there was any issues affecting her heart or her mechanism?
She had lupus, but when she passed away, it was so sudden, and not until after we got the autopsy that they had told us that it literally was just high blood pressure that she passed away from.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. I feel like her heart was affected, but I feel like there might. Do you know if right before she passed, somebody broke her heart, or she was suffering from like a heartbreak, either with people or with family or with somebody?
She made a Facebook video like literally a month before she passed away, and she was telling everybody that she was sorry and how hurt she was about the family, how it was so broken up, and her mom had passed away. So with
Your
my
mom.
grandma passing and with my uncle passing, she
Yeah,
was like always telling me my heart's just broken.
yeah. Your mom passed away from a broken heart, and people don't realize this. That's actually going to be what we're talking about right after this, because people don't realize how damaging having a broken heart and letting it stay broken can affect you. And I feel like your mom's heart just broke and she couldn't recover herself. Even though she had a condition, she doesn't make me feel like that was the cause of her passing. She just makes me feel like it was literally just having a heart broken and suffering from that
And
pain.
that's what literally scares me because my mom was my best friend, and me being so young, like every day that's all I think about is just I just want to go with my mom.
Here's the thing, though. First of all, you're not going anywhere. Just FYI, just because I'm telling you, but also because your mom is telling me that if you show up, she's going to kick your ass and send you back. So she's letting you know, do not show up without an invitation because she's going to send your ass back. So she's making that clear. She also is writing on my skin. Do you know if there's a tattoo that's connected to her or someone's planning on getting a tattoo?
Yes, I got my mom's name and her favorite flower tattooed on me.
Got it. So she's acknowledging this. She also keeps acknowledging birthday balloons. Do you still celebrate her birthday or get her balloons or birthday balloons? Because she showed me birthday balloons.
Yeah, last month was her birthday, and I always release balloons for her.
Perfect. She's acknowledging being aware of the balloon connection with her birthday. So she's making reference to that. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. She's singing. Did y'all used to sing or like do karaoke together?
She used to hate that we, like, I would get on her nerves because she would put on a song and I would sing, and she's like, just shut the hell up, Brianna. Just let them sing.
How funny. Okay. Well, your mom is singing, so she's almost like trying to like cheer you up or just make you feel better. She also says you should still shut the hell up because she knows you're still singing. So she's just acknowledging and making reference to that. She says you're not a Cardi B. So she's like, I think really wanting to make sure like you understand you're not one of those. She met Selena, so she's acknowledging. Did you watch the series, Selena the series? Because she says, I did meet Selena. So you might have like seen it and thought, I wonder if mom's seen it or did you meet? She says, I met her. So she's acknowledging that and making reference to that as well. Thank you. She says that she's laughing. She says, I'm proud of you. I mean, I don't know what you did, but I'm proud of you. So she's almost like just telling you that she's proud of you, even though she's not specifying any reason other than just to tell you that she's proud of you. Your mom is with you, sweetheart, and she's going to continue to be with you. Also, she keeps popping in to you're going to have dreams of her, but also if you're involved in anyone's relationship with somebody, she's going to be popping into their dreams as well. And if they start telling you that they're having dreams, it's because she's coming around and she's basically telling them like, I'm watching you, I'm watching you. So just so you know, your mom is not, she's got your back, and I think she's trying to give you some guidance about that. But she just needs to she's telling you that you need to trust your instincts. Okay?
Okay.
All right, sweetheart. I am wishing you love, Mama, and you take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. Where's that going? Okay, let's go in here. All right, so that one was declined. So let's try somebody else. Cassandra, will my son Isaac get back together with his ex-girlfriend? He's heartbroken. I feel like with his situation, they may need some time apart, or there may need to be some like space for a while. What I'm reminded of my cousin, and what my cousin did was he and his wife, they're married now, but he and his wife, they were together, and then they broke up, and they were like separated for like a while, and I mean like years, and then they ended up getting back together, and then they got married, and they're still together now. What I would say with your son is I feel like there's going to be a period of break or a separation period. And I do think it's going to be a while. It doesn't feel like it may be right away where they get back together. Because it feels like there's a break at some point, and then there's significant time apart. And then when he starts to either talk to someone new or get involved with someone else, that may be a situation where she comes back into the picture, she shows back up. So don't be surprised if there's like a break and then there's like a reconnect. And at that point, that would be his chance to, if he wants to go in that direction, then he can. Okay? Let's go back here. Let's go here. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Cool. Question. Have you ever worked with horses or done any work with horses or with properties that have horses on them?
No.
Okay. Remember that I said that because I keep seeing a scene in my mind of you. What I'm thinking of is I've got a person that I follow on Instagram, and they actually have like a ranch with horses, and they're always showing pictures of the horses. I'm seeing a scene where you are on a property, your property, or a place that you go to often, and there's horses, and I see you petting or like being near the horses. And there's like two little like younger kids there as well that I would assume are like either your kids or like grandkids. So just okay. But keep seeing that scene, and I'm like, what is that? So what do you want to ask me about?
I just wanted to ask you if you had any messages from my grandmother.
Yes, with grandma. First of all, was grandma kind of funny, or could she be a little comedic?
Yes, she's hilarious.
Because I'm seeing Lucille Ball in my mind, which is why I'm assuming that's where she's going with that, or she's trying to acknowledge being funny. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Do you know there's like a bracelet or a wristwatch that's also connected to grandma?
Yes.
Got it. Do you also know there are charms connected to grandma?
Yes, she had a lot of jewelry that she gave to us. Yes.
Got it. She showed me that, but then she showed me charms, and it's almost as if there was, for example, like I know people who were like, oh, my mom, she liked red shoes, and then someone gets a little charm of a red shoe, but there's like charms that she's acknowledging. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Okay. She's showing me a name change, and then there being two things filed in two separate names or two versions of a name. Did y'all have to do something where she had either things were filed in two separate names, or y'all had to go and work around a name change with her situation?
I'm not sure, but I know that she was called two different names.
Okay. If y'all are trying to figure out some things about her or things that may have been connected to her, look under the other name as well, or look through the records, because there may be more than one version of this, and that way it may be a little confusing, and if there's like missing information or things y'all need, that would be a way to get it.
Okay.
Sure. She's also talking about an expansion of a property or the extension to a property. Do you know if someone's redoing a property or extending it or doing like a patio area?
I believe so.
She's making reference to something like this, so there's a reference to that. She also, thank you. Okay, not sure how to interpret this. She's showing me a Barbie doll, and then I'm seeing like a pink microphone. Do you know if there's anything connected to either dolls with grandma, Barbie doll, or microphone?
Not microphone, but she used to make all of my Barbie dolls clothes, and she was a seamstress, so she used to make all those things for me for my Barbies. Yeah,
Do you know?
long
Do you
time
know?
ago.
Do you still have that stuff?
Um, my mom may.
Okay, I don't know if that's it. I mean, that's a good connection, but I don't think that's it. I feel like there's more to this. I don't either. There's a doll connected to her, or there's something about. It's either a doll or it's a microphone with a doll on it, or it's a Barbie microphone. There's something to this that she's making reference to, and I don't think I'm catching it, but there's a reference to that, so I'll leave that with you. She also keeps acknowledging she showed me Christmas. Did your grandma love making Christmas cookies or doing the whole Christmas bit?
Oh yeah, Christmas for
Okay.
sure. She did everything for Christmas.
Okay, because I'm like seeing like overboard, and that's
Yeah.
what it feels like overboard. Do
Yeah.
y'all? Is there a funny joke about the way she would make her cookies, or the way she would like carve out a cookie?
Um, I don't remember about
So
a cookie,
the way I would
but
describe it is like if I make a certain type of cookie, like a Christmas tree or a gingerbread man, but then I always have to have one that has a bite in it or something, or I always have to have one that's missing a limb. There's like a joke about something like this.
I'll have to ask my dad. I don't.
Okay.
I don't
Because she's making
remember.
reference to something like this, where either it has to be cut a certain way, or there's a certain thing about a bite with the cookie, and
Okay.
there might even be a picture of this cookie with that bite, because there's like something like this. So it's really, thank you, because I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she's showing me Shrek with a little gingerbread man where he gets bitten and he's like, it's just like, yeah. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Is there a Doris or a Dorothy or a D female D name, short D name connection for your mom?
No, not that I can think of.
There's a Dorothy, Diane, no. Diane? Donna? There's like a D short D name connection that's connected to your mom. Because there's another female in spirit who is bringing my attention to mom or acknowledging your mom, and then there's this D reference to it.
Oh, okay.
So I'll leave that with you. So you may have to check or follow through. Do you have more than one mom?
No, I just have one mom.
Okay. Remember that I said that when you asked your mom about this. Because
Okay.
she may know what I'm talking about when I say, is there more than one mother, and then this D name and this female. So there's something about this that I kind of want to put together or package together is how I want to describe it. Okay. Your grandmother is also acknowledging a ring as well. Do you have a ring of hers also that you wear?
Yes, I do. I have one that I
She's
do.
acknowledging that as well. She also makes me feel, do you, thank you. Did she ever gift you or make you a bedspread or bedding? It's either for you or for a child.
Oh, she did. She made some bedding and some items for my kids. I have 3. Yeah.
Do any of them have initials or names on them?
Yes.
Yeah, she's fine. She's actually been coming around the kids a lot, so she's letting you know about that. So
Oh,
she's
awesome.
coming around the kids as well. So yeah, she's okay.
Oh.
Do y'all have a fish tank?
Yes.
Yeah. Is something funny or weird happening with the fish tank, or did
Yes.
Okay, because she's like acknowledging the fish tank. The weirdest things that they come up with.
Whoa.
So FYI, she's around and she sees what's going on, and she's just either she's writing somebody out or she's acknowledging what she witnessed. So just FYI, okay?
Okay.
All right, sweetheart.
Awesome.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Mama. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I think I have enough time for maybe one more. And I'll try. Let me get in a couple. Actually, let me get in a couple of the text versions or the messages really quickly. China Ruiz, my husband passed in January. Anything from him? Yeah, the first thing he's doing is he's. It's gonna sound weird. I feel like he's biting you. I don't know why. So I don't know if he had a habit of like going up to you and like biting on you, or if there's a joke about a bite. But there's a reference to that. He has shown me tattoos, so there might be 3. There might be 3 tattoos connected to him as well. He's also shown me, thank you. He's trying to give me a name, so it's either the name of his name, the name of someone he's with, or the name of someone who's alive that he wants to acknowledge or say hello to. The name sounds like Hector or Victor or Hector. So it sounds like that. So there's a name like Victor or Hector that he's making reference to. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's opening your, oh, he's giving you permission. He's opening your hand. He's putting a ring in there. That's usually my sign that they love you, and no matter what, they want you to be happy. And they're giving you permission to be happy. And that's how I would describe that, okay? He also is doing this. So I don't know if you've been wearing his shirts as a night shirt, or he's acknowledging you wearing stuff or the shirt. So he's acknowledging the wearing of the shirt, okay? Let's go here. Aw, that's sweet. Hey, Brent, thank you for that. Brent Price, he says, putting some positive energy out there for everybody. Thank you, that's very, very sweet. Let's see. There you go. Does my mom blame me for her death? So, when I tune into mom's energy, first of all, I'm asking her the question, and it's interesting because it's not like she's saying, absolutely not, there's no way that was anything to do with you. She's not making me feel this way. What she's making me feel is that this was just a bunch of situations, or this was a situation where it might have been more like negligence, but not necessarily an intent or like blame to be cast. In other words, it's almost like someone should have been watching what they were doing, or someone should have been like aware, but it's not like I'm going to blame that person, because she doesn't blame you. So to answer your question, she doesn't blame you for her death, but she does acknowledge that there was a situation of negligence that was contributing to the situation altogether. She's also putting her hand over her mouth, which may mean that she didn't get a chance to say goodbye, meaning that y'all didn't get a chance to say goodbye to each other, or she wasn't able to communicate or speak, but there's a reference to that as well. She also shows me the number 15. It's either the 15 or the 5, and that would either be the 15th of a month or the 5th of a month, or the month of May, but she's acknowledging that as well. She also is wrapping a piece of fabric around you, which is interesting, because normally whenever I see a piece of fabric, I associate that with like a scarf, or like a piece of fabric, a scarf, a robe, but there might be something fabric-wise that wraps around you, or that you have that may go around you, that is connected to her as well, because she's wrapping fabric around you, so that there's a reference to that as well. Okay, let's try to bring somebody back on. Oh, let's see, somebody else on. Who's watching? Who's watching? Whoops, did the wrong thing. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, sweetheart?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. What do you want to ask me about?
So I wanted to connect with my mom.
Got it. So the first thing I want to acknowledge with mom, do you have a hairbrush or something that's hair related that's connected to mom?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, it's funny because the first thing I thought was a squeegee. I mean, it's a scrunchie or whatever those are called. I was like, what is this? And she showed me something that reminded me of a scrunchie, and I'm not sure where she's going with this. So I was trying to figure out if this was like a hair thing, or there's like this scrunchy thing that is connected to mom that you have, or that is connected.
When Mommy's talking to Ferny, okay. Sorry, my son.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So I'll leave that with you. She also keeps acknowledging. She's not letting that go. I'm missing something. She's doing this, so she's fixing her hair. She's trying to get me to go to her hair for some reason. Question: do you know if there's any reference to mom's hair being significant, or something to do with hairstyling?
She loved to do my hair as a child, but she was also really fond of having her hair up, and it was always in a ponytail or in a bun when it was really hot out, because I have her hair. We both have, like, it's straightened right now, but because of her, I have some afro hair. Let me tell you.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Either she's making fun of your hair. No. I feel like she's trying to make reference to something that goes in your hair that maybe connects to her that you might have. So I'll leave that with you and just remember that I said that because that may make sense in time. She's showing me the number 11. Do you know if November or the 11th of a month is connected?
11, 11, 11, 11.
So the month of November or the 11th of a month?
11th of a month. So she passed away in July 10th.
Okay, so she passed on the 10th. Was it late? Was it late in the evening when she passed?
So when we found she passed, we'd actually gotten a phone call, and my grandmother had woken me up from a nap just by saying her mom was found dead. And they actually don't know when she passed.
So here's what I'm going to say. What day did they find her on?
So they found her July 10th and pronounced her death date that day.
Okay. I don't know why she's going with why she's showing me 11. So what I'm going to say is either she was just trying to give me the 10th and I misinterpreted it, or there's actually a November or 11 connection as well. So I'm going to leave that with you, and you might have to think about that. Okay. She also keeps acknowledging, do you know if she had been taking medications at that time or taking and ingesting things that were not ideal or suitable?
She was, so what you had actually told me before when she first passed away, from her toxology report, was that she told you she had taken some cocaine laced with fentanyl, and then that's when she realized she didn't feel good, and she told you she had taken her methadone, and that's what caused her to overdose.
Yeah. Got it. Did they confirm that, or did the toxicology report confirm that?
They did.
Yeah, she's just confirming what she already told me, which was she took or ingested or took something into her body that she shouldn't have been mixing or shouldn't have been. The thing about it is, I feel like she's done this before, so it wasn't like this was a new thing for her. No, but when she did it and the way she mixed it that day was not gonna work, and something was off because she makes me feel that way. She also keeps apologizing to you because she makes me feel that she sometimes might have had a habit of mixing things up in her head and sometimes didn't always react or respond the way she should have. So she's apologizing to you. She now knows that you were trying to help her, and she's acknowledging that she's aware of this now. She also says that you have nothing to apologize to her for, and she doesn't want to hear your apologies because she says it doesn't feel right for you to apologize to me. She says you could be more of a mom than I was, and she says you did a lot for me and you should know that. She also says you will help to change the patterns in the family or the cycles, so these kinds of cycles won't repeat themselves. She also says that you're going to use what you experienced with her to help other people who may need that same kind of help as well. So you're going to use this. She says even though this was a painful experience to go through with her, she says you're going to use this, and she says thank you. Honor me in action, not in memory. So she's just making sure you stick to that. Are you going back to school or going to get a certification or a credential?
I actually, because of her mom who adopted me when I was 3 with my siblings, I went to the medical field because I wanted to help people, and now I work as an office administrator.
Got it. So your mom is letting me know that there's more to come, so be prepared because some of your experiences that you've had with her are going to come in and play a factor or a role. So she says she's very proud of you. She also says that Jordan? Is there a Jordan connection?
He's my cousin.
Okay. She just said Jordan, so I'm going to assume that's somehow relative to what we were just talking about. So I'm just going to kind of leave that there. She also keeps, thank you. Do you know if there's two or three tattoos connected to mom as well?
So I actually got a whole sleeve for her.
Okay. Did you have to do that in 2 times? Because she says 2 and then 1.
I had to do 3, and then I'm about to go to add another piece next week.
Oh, okay, got it. So, got it. Okay. So she's just acknowledging all of that complexity because there's a lot of complexity there. Did you have to change your tattoo person midway or with one of the times?
I was going to, and then I decided to stick with my tattoo artist because he's done every single one of my tattoos.
Yeah, she's giving me a thumbs up. So had you changed? She says she says you get what you pay for. So I don't know if it was going to be cheaper or what, but she's saying thumbs up. So I think that she's acknowledging your decision.
Oh, I know what she's talking about. I'm switching a tattoo person because I wanted to go get a whole back piece done.
Okay.
So that's what she's probably
Okay.
referring to.
Okay. So she's wrapping something around your neck as well. Did you have something made, or did you buy something in honor of her that's like a necklace, but you don't wear it?
Oh, she's talking about her ashes in her necklace.
Okay, but you don't wear this, right?
No, it's hanging in my hubby's car. He
She
brings
knows.
her
So she's
everywhere with her.
Yeah, got it. She knows. So she's just acknowledging being aware of being with you in this. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. So she's singing Sunshine Song for me. So is there a special connection to the Sunshine Song or Sunshine?
I used to sing it to my son all the time because she sung it to me.
So she's acknowledging that connection in that song. If you have the word sunshine or a mug with the sunshine on it come up and show up for you, this is her gift to you. So to look out for sunshine things that are going to be signs from her, because you might get like a random cup that has a sunshine or something that says sunshine on it. But she says this is going to be signs from her to look out for.
Okay.
Okay? All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mama.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, we're done. So I got to get off here because I'm going to come back on with Shannon. So I will see y'all guys Friday, okay? Bye.